4 years ago, I started a company that utilized virtual reality and eye tracking to help people with vision problems. This is the story of how I got here and how game development changed my life. Let's rewind back to the beginning, my childhood. I was born in Orange County, California, a place known for their beaches and reality TV shows, rather than the actual fruit. Yep, that's me, just a kid who wanted to have fun. I always enjoyed creating things and playing video games, whether it was Legos or building roller coasters out of paper and tape. I loved being creative, and I remember wanting to learn how to program and make a game for my middle school project. But with no mentor or guidance, that dream quickly faded. I ended up following the path that every typical Asian kid followed, by becoming a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So I graduated with a degree in electrical engineering, a major I had little to no interest in. It wasn't until after I graduated I decided I'm going for what I want. And having taken a few programming courses in college, I had a basic foundation. I started on a game, The Endless Tower. It's as janky as you can imagine. I drew the art with MS Paint, got a friend to draw some cartoons just to add a little bit of flair. I wanted to go simple. It was based off of WarioWare, and how it's just a montage of mini-games. Endless Tower was literally an endless tower of mini-games using the number pad. Every level you beat, you progress up the tower. And believe it or not, I was able to sell this game to addictinggames.com, a super popular flash game website that I would play as a kid. I sold Endless Tower for $2,500. It wasn't much, but this was the catalyst that started my career. I went on to create a few more games that weren't as successful. There was Feeding Frenzy, a game my friends and I came up with after noticing how pigeons would fight each other for food. As a scavenger pigeon, you would search for candy and cupcakes scattered throughout the map. Probably not the healthiest pigeon. You could also tackle other pigeons and birds to steal their food. And if you collected the letters Frenzy, candy would start exploding out of you and trigger a feeding frenzy. Then there was my first mobile game, Gummy World, which was a twist on Candy Crush, where you connect these smiley gummy characters to score points, complete objectives, and clear the board. I spent almost a year on this game, creating 4 different worlds, 160 unique levels, and over 30 collectible gummy characters. Then there was my first VR game, Betatron, a gravity puzzle game based on Portal that also had a goofy narrator.
Howdy, recruit. Welcome to the Lube Testing Facility, Laboratory for Universal Beta Particle Energy. I'm Dr. Carl Yeager. You can call me KY for short.
This was my first 3D game, so ignore the crappy graphics and art. I had no idea how to create 3D models, and I basically threw in some Tron-like textures on the cubes and planes. I actually entered this game into a small game jam, and won. Until this point, none of my projects were able to support me as a career, and I was working a full-time job while developing on the side. Until one day I decided to show some of my friends a VR game I was working on, and they said, "This would be great for vision therapy." And my response was, "What the heck is vision therapy?" So my friend was an optometrist, and apparently vision therapy helps people with vision problems like double vision and lazy eye. So I obviously knew nothing about vision therapy, so I asked for a copy of her vision therapy handbook from optometry school, and I studied it. I realized that all these exercises were done with basic tools like pen and paper, and could be easily updated with the latest technology like VR and eye tracking. So shortly after, I started converting these basic activities into interactive video games that people would enjoy playing. I mean, who wouldn't want to play video games as part of their therapy or homework? So this is where I created my first product, Optics Trainer Eye Tracking, where I utilized a Tobii eye tracker, a device designed to turn your eyes into a virtual mouse and use your eyes to interact with the screen. I happened to have an eye tracker laying around, and I thought it was interesting, but not something I wanted to use for gaming. Honestly, it felt like my eyes were getting a workout. But that's the thing, it was a workout. And that's when the light bulb went off. There has to be a community of people who could use a piece of equipment that works out their eyes. Maybe the vision therapy community? This product included 13 games that would work on different vision skills. There was an asteroid game to work on your eye movement, where you would use your eyes to pop asteroids as they appeared around the screen, a ball maze where you would use your eyes to navigate and collect coins, a fixation game where you'd have to stare at balloons in sequence to pop them, a maze game for your eyes to quickly navigate through, a peripheral vision game where you need to stare at the center to reveal the letters on the outside, and then use your hand to select the letter that matched the center, a hidden objects game, a visualization game, a reading trainer, and many more. I took this product to one of the largest vision therapy conferences and literally started selling it. This was the beginning of Optics Trainer. In less than 3 months' time, I was able to make a product, sell it, and actually help people. With the success of my first product with eye tracking, I moved on to VR, where I created Optics Trainer VR. With VR, I had so many possibilities, especially for the people with lazy eye or eye turns. Here's what you need to know. Lazy eye is usually caused by an abnormal vision development early in life. It's actually a neurological condition where one eye cannot see very well, leaving the other eye to see clearly and the brain suppressing the weaker eye. Vision therapy helps redevelop these neural connections in the weaker eye and promote eye teaming, which helps the eyes work together. For more information about lazy eye and other eye issues, check out Dr. Eyehealth's channel. He has a lot of great videos on vision and eye health, and I've left a link in the description below. So how do you treat this? Well, one way is to make the eyes work together. This is where VR can do amazing things. With VR, we can selectively place targets in one eye or the other. In this case, we would put the objects and targets in the weaker eye and hide them from the stronger eye, so you cannot play the game unless you're using both eyes together. Additionally, we can reduce the contrast and brightness in the stronger eye so that more information is received by the weaker eye, forcing you to use the weaker eye more. The last thing we can do is actually compensate for the eye turn. With VR, we can actually adjust the angle of each eye and work your ability to converge the objects you see. So this is similar to how you can cross your eyes with the magic eye image and see depth and see a hidden image or text. Except in VR, we can do it with more precision. And we can make you constantly work on your eye's ability to converge by changing the angles over time. Please note, do not attempt these exercises without the supervision of your eye care professional, as it can potentially damage your eyes. With all this said, these are the underlying techniques we can use in VR. And what's cool is that I can design almost any game to be able to use these techniques. This VR product contained 12 activities that included a boxing game where you'd have to punch bombs that matched your glove color, an archery game where you worked on your eye-hand coordination to shoot colored targets, a samurai game where you chopped fruit, I know, super original, a whack-a-mole game where you'd use ice picks to break ice cubes, a test for checking your eye alignment, a color matching game, a texture matching game, a peripheral vision game where you collect stars, a depth perception game where you'd have to tap the birds in sequence from the closest to the farthest, a memory game where you'd have to use a pellet gun to replicate a pattern shown, an object tracking game where you have to keep track of multiple objects, and finally another balloon popping game where your hands are thumbtacks. I'm sorry, but I just love popping balloons. So I decided to recreate some of the coolest games in VR so that patients can get therapy and play fun games. So it's been 4 years now, and my products have helped people around the world. I was able to quit my day job to run this company full time, giving me the freedom to be creative and work on whatever my heart desires. So that brings me here, to this moment. Why am I telling you this story? Well, I grew up thinking I could never make a hobby into a career. I had no confidence in myself, but I worked at it. And I hope this inspires all the developers and creatives out there, because I know that this is a tough time for everyone. But why not take advantage of this time and work on something you're passionate about? And who knows, maybe it'll change your life too.